Hey guys, just before we get you to this live, Confessions is out on Amazon. To order your copy, head to shaw.b/confessions book, and let's get you to this live. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you're watching from. We are live on a Thursday for a change because we have a very special guest, the human lightning rod herself, Marisa Paige Butler. Marisa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing amazing. It's been a pretty busy first week after being crowned Miss Earth USA, mostly trying to catch up with all my work for my real day job. So, but
Oh my
finally,
God, you actually have a day job.
Yes, I was able to have an excuse to have a break from work today and put on some PJs to join you. So I really appreciate that.
Danielle and Marisa look like you guys planned this, right? In advance? You didn't just happen to both.
No, not at all.
Definitely not. There were definitely
You
no
should have
WhatsApp
given
messages.
You should have given Chloe the memo so because she's got one as well, actually. Chloe, you got a pink one.
Yeah, I have my Miss Universe Ireland one.
Go get it.
Do you want to
Go get
Do you want to
it.
go put it on?
No, I'll
She's like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
yeah, because I've got this on and it's quite heavy, and then I'll have to take it off and then put that on. Yeah.
Oh, Chloe, just before we get started, has your heating situation been resolved?
So today it just got made worse, and by worse
Oh.
I mean my hot water was still working, and the guy came today to fix it with this part he ordered from Germany, and now the water's gone. So yeah, that is just adding to the issues, but I'll be fine. Hopefully we get it sorted. Yeah.
What's the temperature?
Because I've actually got
at
a
the
jumper
moment, Chloe?
underneath this. Yeah.
What's the temperature like outside? Is it still snowing?
No, it's not snowing anymore, so it's not as bad, thankfully. So yeah, it's livable, but it was just losing the water today was the final straw.
Losing all water or just hot water?
Just hot water.
Okay, so cold showers whilst it's snowing outside. That'll, yeah, you have my sympathies for that. Marisa, I mean, you're in good company. I mean, talking about first weeks on the job, I mean, you got a new president and he's had about a week or so on the job. I mean, do you think you've been busier than him? He's had quite a lot to do, as have you.
He definitely has more work to do than I do, and he's already done a lot, especially for the environment, which being from the Earth system, I'm very, very excited about as rejoining the Paris Agreement, stopping that pipeline. So there's a lot of things that he's been working on already this week, and I definitely would not trade jobs with him. I think that he has a lot of work cut out for him as we go into these next 4 years. So looking forward to see how he actually implements his environmental strategy going forward.
I don't know. I think you could give President a red hot crack.
Maybe someday.
Put it this way, I think you do a better job at being president than Joe would do a job of being a pageant queen. But
well, that's very true. That is.
Although I got to say, when he did his little shuffle run, when he did his jog, I just love that. That was so cute. Let me just bring you up to date with the comments. So Sean here has said, congrats, Marisa. So glad she won.
Oh, hi, Sean.
And Ralph Sambat has said, good afternoon from Orlando. So guys, if you have any questions or comments for Marisa, obviously put them in the comments and we'll pass them on. You know that we keep it fairly casual. Well, very, very casual, bordering on chaotic sometimes. I'm going to turn it over to Danielle and Marisa for a while. I don't often watch my interviews back, but I did think it would be good to remind me by watching Marisa's interview. And it was a long one. I didn't realize that. We talked for an hour and a half. It's actually one of the longest interviews.
We just couldn't stop talking.
I talked about a lot of things. First off, can I just ask, before I ask you about Danielle and how you guys met, you were talking about how your mum basically has turned your old room into a shrine because she has life-size posters of
I
you
can
from when
see
you were
Debbie doing that.
She does.
Miss
That-
World. She had it
my-
when do you have more posters now, or have your sisters finally gotten the better of you and put up some weird picture of you?
So as of right now, like, so my old childhood room, it serves two purposes. So during Christmas season, it's the Christmas wrapping room. We have a million boxes, all different like wrapping papers and bows. But for the rest of the year, it's like a shrine to my pageant career. And my mom she's collected every little thing down to every single stash that I've ever had, all my awards, like every single photo, picture. There's one big one from when I was Miss Maine USA. That one is like probably bigger than like this whole fireplace behind me, and has like right on the main wall. And we have one from when I was Miss World America too. So they didn't have any big posters yet for this one, but I'm sure if they do, that's going to definitely take a place there as well. And my mom is my biggest fan, biggest supporter, and she's just been such like a great help. She's even been collecting things for my national costume like months ago. I was like, Mom, can you like wait until because I might not win. You realize that, right? Mom said, no, you're gonna win.
Well, she was
I'm
right,
gonna be
wasn't
ready.
yeah.
You're gonna have a good national
She was right.
costume. She was so bummed that when I won Miss World America, we only had a month to prepare, so I didn't really get to do a big elaborate national costume. So she was like, no, if you're gonna do this again, I'm gonna make sure we have pull out all the stops, make it super grand. So that is also in that room right now, is all of the materials that she's been collecting for the national costume. So yeah, it's definitely, I say grew. The shrine has grown. But my sisters have done a photo shoot since then with their family. So there is more photos of my sisters around the house. So they're feeling a little bit better about that. But yeah, that always has been a source of contention when you're one of 4 girls, yet you're one of the only ones that has photos anywhere in the house. But they definitely got that photo shoot recently and they turned out beautiful. So I'm really happy to actually have some of them at my house now too for photos of them. So very nice.
Your mum's got to run out of wall space sooner or later. She has all these massive posters of you.
She really will. But I mean, we have a pretty big home back in Maine. I mean, as you can imagine, our property prices in Maine are much cheaper than anywhere else really in the country. So we do have quite a lot of wall space. So it might take her some time, but eventually she probably will with all of, the grandchildren and then all of us girls. So it is definitely getting tight.
Can you just your mum's username on Instagram? It's really tired mum.
Yes.
Was that a joke, or is there some deeper meaning behind that?
I was a crazy child, so that was directly related to me. So I actually have this funny story. When I was probably about 4, this woman who was going to school for early childhood development was babysitting me one night, and the very next day she changed her major because she no longer wanted to work with any crazy children like me. So I was.
What did you do to her?
I don't even know, but I had the most energy out of any kid that I ever known. I think only my niece, her name is Khalees. She's the only one who's rivaling me, and as far as like, how much of a nutcase you were as a kid. But yeah, it wasn't until I got into sports that I calmed down. So that was about like 5 or 6. So before then, I was like a terror. So that's like why my sisters, I don't know if I told you the story. My sisters put me in a Avon box and threw me over the balcony as a piñata when I was 2 because they didn't like me. So they were trying to get rid of me. But no, I was crazy. I was a crazy kid. And so that's why my mom was a really tired mom, as her Instagram name is. And that's my favorite one. She even has that still as like her email address. And it embarrasses me a little bit, but I think it's more funny than embarrassing.
have you settled down at all?
Yes, I would say out of all of my sisters, I was the easiest one during my teen and adult years. So it was kind of like I was crazy at the beginning and then calmed down really quickly, and everyone else was really calm as children and then got crazy later on. So, it all kind of evened out eventually. We all go through our own phases of having, our difficult years, whether it's our teens or when we're kids. So I just got it out of the way early on in life.
Does anyone else have stories about how their siblings have abused them so horribly? I mean, I'm the eldest, so no, I haven't really done anything like that. I mean, Chloe, you got a bunch of siblings. Have you guys ever done anything or had anything done to you?
Well, I have 3 older sisters, and they all would have played pranks on each other. One time, one of my sisters was in the bath. She's the one just above me in age, and then the other 2 are a good few years older than the both of us. And she was in the bath, and one time they unlocked the bathroom door. I don't know how they did it, but they got a bucket of snow and poured it into the bath on her. And that same sister who that happened to, she actually gave me a year out of date Easter egg from her mini fridge and left me very sick. It was horrible. I thought that it was from that current Easter because it was around Easter time, but it was from the Easter before. And yeah, not very nice.
Dear me. Danielle, you're obviously very supportive of your sister. I remember the TikTok you had where you were doing I don't remember which dance you were doing, but then your sister joined in the back. That was really cute.
Oh,
That
she's
was
always
something.
dancing along with me. Yeah. I don't have any obviously my sister's got Downs, so she's the sweetest ray of sunshine ever. So she's never going to be mean to me. Actually, she could be sassy sometimes, but she doesn't plot against me.
Aw.
That's
So
my
did she
job.
recover okay when she was sick then?
Who? My sister?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no, she has
Oh no,
Down
she has Down
syndrome.
syndrome.
Oh no, I thought she was sick a few weeks ago. No.
Oh yes,
Oh.
she had COVID, so she's recovered now. She's absolutely fine. She took it like a trooper. She didn't really have many symptoms, to be honest. Just had a bit of a sniff nose, so very, very lucky. Yeah.
Oh,
My dog just came in. He's saying hello. Milo,
Milo.
you want to say hello? You want to say hello?
Here we go.
Fun fact, I named that pupter.
You did. This is Milo.
Oh God.
He's not so much a puppy
big.
anymore.
No,
That's
he's
not a
too big to
small-
hold for much longer. We wanted to say hello. He just came in from a walk and got all excited.
No.
What sort of what breed is he?
So he's a mutt, like a very, very diluted mutt. So we did a DNA test, and it said he was like 22% Chow Chow and like 12% Cocker Spaniel, and the rest are like it was too diluted to tell. So the DNA test didn't really help us much in figuring out what he was. I think he looks like a doodle mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually got him. My friend had rescued his mom from a shelter down in Mexico that she was volunteering at, and by the time she got the dog home, took her to the vet, found out I was pregnant with 5 puppies. So she had to figure out what to do with all these puppies she wasn't anticipating on adopting. So she ended up adopting them out to all of us in her friend group. So it's actually nice because Milo can still go and see his mom and his brothers and sisters. We even had a 1-year birthday party for him last month with all the siblings. So it's a fun way that I could have like a puppy, but it still be like a pseudo rescue, which I really love. And he's just like the light of my life. I love him so much.
I didn't know you could give dogs DNA tests.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so we did it with our vet. So there's different ways. I mean, you just kind of like how we have like ancestry.com, you can do like the saliva test, but the more accurate one is the blood. So I got it done by the vet. But like I said, it wasn't very helpful. It didn't really tell me much. But I just say, he's like my Bernedoodle knockoff, because that's what he looks like, but he's not one. So
I feel like I want to
just
take my
makes
cat
him more
now to have a
special.
DNA test.
yes.
I don't think anyone would be able to tell what DNA my cat has. He would definitely be too diluted. Danielle, as in Elite Miss Pennsylvania, has said, "Hey everyone, hello Danielle.
Hi.
Hope you're doing well."
Hi.
Hi, babe.
All right, Danielle. and Marisa, does one of you want to regale us with the story of how you've met and how your relationship is blossoming now? How long have you known each other for? Is it 4 years, 5 years?
No, it's longer than that.
5 or
6 years?
6 years. I
Yeah,
think it is
6,
now.
because I went to study abroad in London in 2015, and we met the year prior because it was right when I got my acceptance to King's College to study abroad. She had actually reached out to me over a pageant resale website to ask about one of the gowns I had put up for sale. And so she was like, hey, I know you said it was free shipping to the US. What about to the UK? I'm like, well, if you show me around, I'll send it to you right now.
It's so weird.
Yes, it
It
was
was
just
so
a
weird. It was
really
like fate.
random coincidence that just worked out really great. So when I got to London, Danny showed me the ropes. She showed me where to go shopping for groceries and, how to get around on the tube. And then also introduced me to all of her amazing friends, even through my 21st birthday party for me, like only a week into knowing me, which was amazing. So
it was just like,
yeah.
when you're messaging someone that's coming to like your hometown for the first time and they're coming to live there for an extended time and they don't know anyone, and then it's their 21st birthday. Like for an American, that's like, for us it's like 18th is the big one because obviously we can go out and have a drink. Obviously 21st is the big one in America, so I was just like, oh my goodness, like I have to like throw a party, like any excuse to have a celebration. And we were just vibing, so I was just like, let's do it, let's hang out.
Yes, and I remember, I think when we really like became really close friends, we were down and out to eat somewhere, and we both got talking about like our families and our sisters, and that we really ended up connecting over that. And so that was kind of really when I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna keep her around in my life forever. And so yeah, we've been great friends ever since. She's helped me along my pageant career. I think she's been one of the biggest supporters throughout my whole pageant career, my growth. So I definitely really appreciate everything she's done. She's always been, Team Marisa, and I really appreciate
Always.
that.
And likewise, vice versa. It's a two-edged sword. You came over to support me when I competed in Miss Great Britain. You're always supporting me in everything when I did Grand. Like, yeah. Just had a real sisterhood there.
Yes, I know. We went both, like you came to Miss USA for me, I went to Miss Great Britain for you. So it was just amazing to see like how much like a chance encounter and then this pageantry world can really bring people together. So I really, really think that Danielle is probably one of the best gifts I've ever gotten from my experiences in pageantry.
So you were united by a dress.
Yeah, the blue sparkly dress.
I still have it. I won't part with it because I just think it's like a part of our story.
It definitely is.
All right, so Chloe, here's what we're going to do. I don't know if you've ever seen like on radio or on sometimes game shows, they bring on two best friends and then they ask each other. Like you have to ask the other person a question about the other person. So Chloe, come up with some clever questions for them. Let's start with a simple one so you guys understand what I mean. So let's start with colors. Danielle, what is Marisa's favorite color?
That's so bad. I'm going to say green.
That's green? No, not quite, but close. Close.
I know your best color to wear.
Yeah, so I'd say that there's different ones as far as like your favorite color ever or your favorite color to wear. So I'd say she's close because one of my favorite colors is teal. So it is kind of in the green family. But my favorite color to wear, I'm actually wearing it right now. This is hot pink. So it is kind of similar to Danielle. Danielle's wearing her favorite color to wear. I know that. She's wearing her purple. I think, was it red? Was your favorite color?
No, purple is my favorite color.
Purple is your favorite color. Okay, for both.
I was going to say, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that pageant girls are not competitive at all. So what we'll do to help them along, we'll give them points. So Danielle has 0 at the moment. Marisa has 1. Okay. Chloe, do you have a question you want to ask?
Throughout your time in London, Marisa, anytime that you and Danielle went out for food, what was your favorite meal out of the times that you've ever?
Let's go this way. So we'll turn it into. So Marisa has to answer what is Danielle's favorite food. Yeah, let's ask her that. All right,
Well,
so
the one
Marisa.
she's eaten most with me would be French fries, or as you call it, chips. Because for a long time you were vegetarian, so a lot of times, or vegan. So whenever we would go out, there wasn't
I
as
just
many
had to have
options,
chips.
so you'd always go with chips. Because that you could eat everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
that looks like that's
Yeah.
true then, Danielle. So that's 2 for Marisa. All right. So Danielle, vice versa. What is Marissa's favorite food?
Marissa's favorite food. It's not just a food. I think it's like a whole experience. Whenever we used to eat out, it has to be afternoon tea.
Yes, 100%. I miss that so much. I actually have scheduled an afternoon tea with one of my friends for this weekend. So,
Yay.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, out of the 3 of you, all of you were going to Coachella. So let's ask Danielle this first. Danielle, who is Marissa's favorite musician or band?
Oh my gosh. I feel like we do love so many people, but one person in particular.
I know. I don't even know if I have one.
No.
It's just like unfair for her.
I'm gonna say, just for the female empowerment, Beyonce.
I will say she was my favorite performer I've ever seen live. So we'll give you that one for sure.
All right. Well, that's 2 all. Okay. Just we're not keeping count at all. But Marissa, Danielle's favorite musician or band?
I don't know, because when we went to Coachella last time, I seem to remember you really liked the Kygo set, but I don't know if that's one of your favorites. But at least when we were there, I think that was up there.
My favorite song is a Kygo song. One of my favorite songs is a Kygo song. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So point. So 3-2 to Marissa. Shall we make it first to 5? Chloe, your turn. You're up. Ask them a question about each other.
What would I don't even know what to ask. Maybe
We can ask TV shows or style, designers. Should we ask about designers?
Ooh.
Let's ask about
guilty
designers.
pleasure. What
guilty-
is Danielle's guilty pleasure?
All right.
Like
so
something
Marissa,
she
what
likes
is
that she probably
Danielle's?
shouldn't like.
So
it can
I
be
don't-
like
I don't
mine
even know
is
the
like
answer to this question.
I remember one time when we were at your house, we ordered like too many things of cake and cheesecake. And I really enjoyed
Cake.
that. So I'll go with sweets. That's your guilty pleasure.
What's your guilty pleasure? It's not a guilty pleasure, but for you, I would say, for anyone that doesn't like working out, the guilty pleasure for Marissa would be working out and training.
I would say so.
I missed that completely because my computer had a hernia. So Danielle's was cake. We know that because of her dentist. What was Marissa's?
I said working out, for anyone that doesn't like the gym or doesn't like working out, that would be a guilty. I suppose it's not a guilty pleasure, but I feel like it's one of her pleasures that I'm
Definitely
guilty
one
of
of
not
my
doing.
pleasures for sure.
Okay, so we're giving Danielle the point then, right, Marissa?
Sure.
Okay, so it's 4-3. It's match point now because Marissa's on 4 and it's
no.
first to 5. Okay, so let's ask about fashion because both of you guys are very fashionable. So Marissa, actually we've got to let Danielle go first because she's on 3. Danielle, who is Marissa's favorite designer?
Pageant designer,
Sure, let's go with that.
Michael Cinco.
Probably. It's definitely in my top 2, and I don't know if I have a tiebreaker between them.
Okay, so 4 all. So Marissa, Danielle's favorite designer. Good luck with that one.
Probably Ralph and Russo.
Yes! Oh, I should have given you that. But technically it's not a pageant designer, but it is a designer.
Okay. Well done, Marissa. Congratulations. You are the better friend out of the 2 of you.
It's all right. If she doesn't get my favorite color, I will give her a half point for that anyways, because teal is in the green family.
Yeah, I think that counts.
I'm just being too nitpicky on my answer. You got Jamie's favorite color, though.
Yeah,
So.
Jamie's green. Is your mum's favorite color green?
No, hers is purple, just like you.
Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll bring you up to date with the comments. Linnell here has said red. So she was guessing one of you was red, which I got close to pink. Love from the Philippines, says Charlie. Skander here's, how are you doing? That's Charlie again. Michelle is tuning in from Canada. Skander has asked, are you from Canada? No. No, Marissa's from America. Greetings from Algeria. On the border? Well, I remember now when I was interviewing Marissa, I was talking about Maine lobsters, but that's all I really know about Maine.
Maine is actually the only state that has ever tried to go to war with another country without the support of the United States, and that was with Canada over logging rights. So that is my fun fact about Maine for the day.
How long ago was this?
Like way. I think that like George Washington was still president, if that gives you any type of indication.
I was just thinking, was this yesterday? And I just missed the memo. I mean, Canadians aren't famous for their war waging capabilities, so I would have given Maine an even chance of winning that one. Marissa, obviously you're early on in your reign, but do you want to share with us the plans, or I'm sure you've got loads of them, but do you want to give us an overview of sort of the plans you have for your reign?
Of course. So we are still going to be waiting on doing the official meeting with the national office. It's going to be in a couple of weeks where we're going to kind of solidify these plans. But for me, I mean, we have so much time between now and Miss Earth. So what I'm focusing on right now is just starting to get myself prepared for that competition. But along the way, I'm still going to be doing my weekly Trails meetings every Saturday. We had our first one last Saturday, even in the rain. We were honored with a beautiful rainbow, though, for our efforts. So we're going to be continuing on with my advocacy, the Collective Earth. So that centers upon really encouraging people to have meaningful experiences within nature that will help foster that love for the environment. I think the best way we can go about protecting something is by teaching us how to love it first, because I feel that respect is the highest form of love. So that is kind of where I'm starting. And so I'm also working with right in San Diego where I live. We have the San Diego Seal Society. I'm working on creating a video for them to go as far as asking the city to allow the beaches for the seals and sea lions during pupping season to be closed, and then also to have rangers present year round so that we can limit that interaction with humans and those seals and sea lions. Also continuing, like I said, with my weekly trails, which focuses on areas that have endangered plants and animals, and just also reaching out to other areas around the United States. So that's one of my biggest pushes, is not just to have all my efforts be in San Diego where I am, but also to be able to see how I can actually bring this message to other areas in the United States. We have a trip planned back to Florida at the end of March. So that's where we're going to be kind of starting off, kicking off the year. We have some events planned for Earth Day. We're going to be doing most likely a challenge to have everyone be eating vegan or vegetarian for the month of surrounding Earth Day. We're going to do a lot of different like cooking videos so people can follow along, learn different vegetarian recipes. So those are some of the things that are currently in the works. But like I said, nothing will be really solidified till after the actual meeting with the national office, which will be taking place later on in February.
That's a lot to be getting on with.
Yes.
Already. I can't say that. You go, Danielle.
I really want to come out and do one of your trail cleanups. I mean, remember last time I came to visit you, you took me on a trail in La Jolla?
Yes.
So what was the trail?
It was the Ho Chi Minh Trail. It's also known as the La Jolla Trail. So it's that one. I was very proud of you for making it all the way through the end. Not everyone does. This is kind of a tricky one. We don't take our trail cleanups there. It'd be a little bit too dangerous.
Yeah.
Definitely love to take you out there again. It's my favorite hiking spot in San Diego.
It was so much fun.
Why were you surprised that Danielle made it? Is it a very difficult one, or?
It is. So I say that it's sketchy is the best way to describe it.
That's not a great description. Someone flying over to do a trail and you're just sketchy.
Yeah. So it's something that like not as many people. I've taken a lot of people there before, and it's honestly I kind of see it as like a test. Like, can you be my friend? Like, if you can make it through to the end. But so no, it plays kind of a mind game on you because it's a very narrow pathway, and right to your right hand side is a big drop off. So if you're afraid of heights, that can be a little bit intimidating. There is ability to take the lower path, but you would have to go through like all the water because it follows a water trail. So it's either are you afraid of heights or are you afraid of getting dirty? If either of those are answered or yes, then that's probably not for you, but it does have some of the most beautiful scenic views in all of San Diego, in my opinion. But you just have to be a little bit brave enough to be able to actually make it through that trail. And a lot of people turn around halfway through and like, nope, I'm done. But then you miss the gorgeous, gorgeous views at the end, which I'm very glad Danielle was able to make it all the way through.
Doesn't surprise me that Danielle made it through. Just a random question. Marisa, do you have any phobias? Weird fears?
So I guess my only weird one.
Don't answer what it is. Don't answer what it is. Because we'll give you just to revisit the friends thing. Do you know, because Danielle was not afraid of heights and she's certainly not afraid of getting dirty, but do you...
I am scared when Marisa dangles off the Grand Canyon, I was.
Well, that's
I was like,
dangling off the Grand Canyon?
I'm going to be the one that has to call your mum to say that you tripped off the
So you weren't afraid of heights, you were afraid of my mom.
I was, I was afraid of Debbie, and I was afraid of, like, I'm afraid for other people in height situations. I'm afraid of heights a little bit, yeah.
But I was going to ask Marisa, do you know what Danielle is actually irrationally scared of? What her phobia is?
I don't know if that's ever come up.
I don't know. There's not one that really sticks out to me, so probably not. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told you.
She's my brave friend, so I don't know.
Well,
you're not going to think I'm brave when you find out what it is.
Do you want to tell Marisa what you're phobic of?
The common garden snail.
Really?
Yeah, like I just have a phobia of them.
Afraid of it or just grossed out by it?
No, if I tread on them, I will pass out. I'm sweating thinking about them now.
It's okay. I can't even laugh because mine's just as ridiculous. So, do you remember?
Well, what is yours, Marisa? Oh, did Danielle know?
Let her have a chance for a rebuttal.
There is something that's weird. Is it like is it a texture?
No. It's closer to what yours is like.
I don't know. An animal? Snake? Snakes? No. I was gonna say.
It's not lobsters, is it?
No. That would be funny being afraid of lobsters, but no.
Has this ever come up in scorpions?
No, it is probably, you probably won't guess. If you don't know it, you'll never
butterflies.
guess in a million years.
Moths.
So it was ladybugs.
Yes, I knew that. I knew it was ladybugs. You've told us come up in conversation before. I can't remember what. Is it because they pee on you?
No.
What?
So one flew up my nose when I was 2, and then it like never came down. So that was like one of my first memories as a child, and it completely mortified me. And then like a couple years later, when I was like maybe 5 or 6, there was a big migration of ladybugs that came through Maine, and I woke up one morning already terrified of ladybugs to my entire ceiling covered in ladybugs. And
I remember this now.
It just solidified that phobia for like the rest of my life. I'm only just now starting to get over it. Like I don't squirm, seeing them anymore, but I still do not want them anywhere near me.
What's the name of that phobia? Does it have a name?
It probably does, and I'm probably the only one on Earth who has that phobia.
Ladybugophobia. Let's just catch you up with the comments. what have we got here? We've got Miss Earth USA. Philippines are crazy for you. Back-to-back win in every pageant portal here in the Philippines.
Salamat po, Charlie. Thank you.
People are calling it early, Marisa. I hope you do well with the pressure. You were very famous here in the Philippines, Ms. Marisa. Most of the Philippine pageant side is rooting for a back-to-back win. Ariana, who's Danielle's friend,
Danielle, do you
knew
see this
what
comment?
the phobia was.
Ariana.
Skander here has asked, do you know Arabic? Can you say one word in Arabic?
I actually don't of those types of words in most languages because, you know, when you are representing the United States internationally, you get to meet wonderful women from all over the world. So I always try to at least have something I can say to each lady so that I can have some type of relationship built with them. So I'll have to learn that one before Miss Earth.
I don't know if actually Chloe was watching when I interviewed you, Marisa. It's like the only interview of mine Chloe's actually watched. Chloe never watches my interviews because she doesn't want to. But you were saying that
bad friend.
That's not true.
I'm joking. But Marisa was saying that when she was over with Danielle, that you couldn't understand the Irish accent, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Every pub you went to had
very
a drunk
specifically,
Irishman.
though, only very intoxicated Irishmen I cannot understand. I can understand Irish, you know, that accent. It's just when they get a couple drinks in them, that's when I really cannot understand it anymore.
It's okay that Irish people don't understand drunk Irish people. So.
Can you do an impression, Chloe, of a drunk Irishman? I don't know what actually, I do know what drunk Irishmen kind of sound like, but I mean, you've got an Irish accent. Is it? You go.
No. Right, okay, they're like, Mary here. Where are you from? I am. And then you're like, what? And they're like, are you from over in that town over? And they literally start making these noises, and yeah, it's very hard to understand.
That's actually a good one. Marisa, how was that? Does that take you back?
That's pretty spot on. Randy, dude, were you there when that one man was trying to tell me his engagement story for like a good solid half hour, and I just could not understand?
I mean, there was this person behind you with a newspaper over their face. That was me.
I do remember because I said I watched the interview back, and I love this idea that he thought it was really romantic, whereas she was afraid for her life because she thought he was going to throw her in the ocean. So it's like, marry me or I'm going to throw you off this pier. It's like, that's not very romantic, but
it took 30 minutes just to get to that punchline.
But I don't think that's it's not the accent you have problem understanding. I think it's the alcohol, given what Chloe's impression was like.
Yes,
we were on a Friday night a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if Danielle remembers this, but Danielle was doing a lot of impressions. And she's
of course I remember. Why would I not remember this, Adrian?
I won't say on live. But Danielle was doing a very, very good Welsh impression. So Miss Universe GB, Emma Jenkins, who has a very distinctive Welsh voice. And Danielle does a ridiculously good impression of her. It's like hearing her. You know, she tried an impression of you.
Really?
We won't go there, Adrian. We will not go there.
I told you we were going there. You didn't remember that you did
I can't do impressions of Marisa. I can't.
You said it was the easiest impression to do, and you went straight into it.
Well, I actually don't remember that part.
Give it a go.
No, I'll do
We've heard Marissa's Cockney. That's why I put it on my Instagram story. Chloe being attacked by her light again. We heard Marissa's Cockney, but she was told that she should never do accents. So Danielle, why don't you do a Marissa impression for Marissa and
I can just do like her introduction, but I can't do Marissa. I need some Dutch courage for that. It was something like, I'm trying to remember like your introduction where you go, Marisa Butler, Maine.
Oh, it's funny. We were actually talking, me and Danielle, the other day about how my boyfriend's real first name is Arthur. He always goes by his middle name for Jamie. But we were always saying how he would never go by that unless it was said by someone with a British accent, because it sounds so much more regal and pretty when it's in a British accent, and then just kind of gross when you say it with an American accent. And of course, then Danielle sends me a video, like a little voice note, and here I'm thinking she was gonna say it just like Arthur, and no, it was Arthur.
Arthur. No, I think I went, hey Arthur.
Yeah, hey, Arthur. That's what you said. Oh,
What accent is that, Danielle?
There was a TV show on called Hey Arthur or Arthur, and
Is it not Hey Arnold?
is it Hey Arnold? No,
there is a
Yeah.
Hey Arnold, but there also was an Arthur,
Arthur. I
that
know it's
was like an aardvark, and I
Yeah.
still know how to spell aardvark because he had a spelling bee where Arthur the aardvark didn't know how to spell aardvark, so. So that was like the one like childhood like show that's been burned into my mind, is like Arthur the aardvark. So I think that's what
Yeah.
that was from.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. I don't know why, but when you said Arthur, like the theme tune of that program just came to my head, and that's why I was like, do, 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 do. I actually sang that a little bit, and then I recorded. I went, hey Arthur.
I was going to say there are a lot of UK accents, so if your boyfriend wants it to be told in a UK accent, he has to take his pick. And actually,
There's so
Danielle
many
can
accents.
probably do all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
she can do obviously
can
Cockney,
probably
she
do
can
most.
do Welsh, she can do Scottish.
So,
Go on, Danielle.
I was gonna say, I don't know why I was gonna say I'm a hot Scot. It's a hot Scottish accent.
I think next time there's a talent section, you definitely have to do impressions, and you probably should do the whole thing as Emma Jenkins.
Oh
Let
yeah,
me
I
just
can
bring
do
you up to
it.
date with the questions here. Linnell has also said back to back for
Back to
USA.
back. This is
Thank
so
you,
bad
Linnell.
because I'm supporting USA more than I would be supporting my own delegate of England or United Kingdom. But
Oh,
whoops, sorry,
we understand that.
I'm here for USA.
We're all adults here. We can understand that. Now, Charlie here has asked a question. Who is your role model in terms of Miss Earth Queens?
So I always get this question, and I always like to answer with queens that I've met in person, because I feel like you get to know them so much more that way. So one of the reasons why I really wanted to join Miss Earth, aside from just the environmental advocacy aspect of it, was actually Amani Davis, who was Miss Earth Air. And the reason for that is I actually competed with her at Miss USA, and she was absolutely one of my favorite girls that I had met during that competition. She just has such a way of being so confident and poised, but also really funny and down to earth. And I loved that she just was really like unapologetically who she was and could really light up any room that she enters. So I always have really admired her long before she even was a Miss Earth Queen. But definitely now she's 100% my favorite and kind of who my role model would be going forward for this upcoming pageant. She's someone I definitely looked up to for a long time.
And he's also asked, where do you see yourself a day before the actual Miss Earth 2021?
So hopefully in the Philippines. It would be wonderful to be able to have the pageant in the Philippines again in person. I know it's going to really depend on how COVID plays out this year with the vaccines as they're coming available, whether or not it will be in person. But I've always wanted to have a pageant experience in the Philippines. I think that the Filipino fans are the most amazing pageant fans on the planet. They take it so much more seriously than any other country. I mean, I feel that I have more support in the Philippines even from the US, just because not as many people are as into pageantry in the United States. So being able to have an experience competing at a pageant in one of the best countries in the world to compete in a pageant would be an absolute dream. So I'm hoping that I'll be in the Philippines the day before the actual Miss Earth 2021.
Sean here has said so many drunk Irish accents, I feel like I'm at my family reunion.
Sean just went to Ireland as well, so he just got back from a trip, so he knows exactly what we're talking about.
I can imagine that would be a very, very fun family reunion to attend. Marisa, I do want to ask one question. I mean, as someone who's won not just one major title, and by major, most people say it's Universe, Earth, World, International, and Grand. You've won 2 for your country now. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to know, well, a lot of people, their life dream is to win 1. You've won 2, so you should probably stop. It's very selfish of you. But do you have any, obviously everyone's very individual, exactly. But do you have any sort of tips in general as to, or maybe why you think you've been so successful?
Well, I think that the reason I personally has been successful is more about determination and dedication. So I've been at pageantry for 10 years now. And I'm telling you, at first, I was not at the level where I ever could have won a national title once, let alone twice. It takes so much work and effort to really look inward at yourself and see what it is you can improve upon. And the biggest thing I found that has helped me transform is the relationships that I have created along the way. So as we were saying earlier, meeting Danielle, for example, was a big turning point for me. It was right before I went to Miss USA, and she helped me along with, my wardrobe.
No, hold on. Yeah. Before you went to Miss Maine USA, because I promised you that if you'd won Miss Maine USA, I would fly and watch you in Miss USA. You did. And then you did.
Mm-hmm. But I would say, really, if you're entering into pageantry, I would say be patient. If it doesn't come for you the very first time around, it's because something bigger and better for you is around the corner. And if that's something that's truly a dream for you, to keep at it. So for anyone who maybe didn't even place, like I've not placed in some pageants, I've gone away not being a finalist at all in some of my pageants in the past, but you need to take every single one of those opportunities as a chance to learn and grow. And the best way you can do that is by making friends with the women around you that you admire. Because I found that I've had my most personal growth was through the friendships I made, whether it be with Danielle or with my friend Vanessa. And, even with Amani's even given me advice in the past. Shauna has given me advice in the past. So just being able to really reach out to the girls around you and not necessarily just see them as competitors, but see them as someone that can help you grow, someone you can learn from and become friends with. That, I think, will give you the most amount of tools to be able to really tackle your next pageant with confidence.
We'll give Marisa a chance to come back. Why is it that we can never rely on internet on this show? I mean, if it's not mine going, it's Chloe's going. If it's not mine, it's Danielle's. And now it's Marisa. All right, we'll give Marisa a chance to come back. Bear with us. I will. Oh.
There we go. There we go.
You're back?
She's back. She's back.
We were just saying, Marisa, on this show, there's always someone who has technical difficulties. And for once, I'm okay. Chloe is really good today, which is only the second time that's happened. Danielle's fine, and then you drop out. So, sorry, what were you saying before you dropped out?
I was just saying that really lean into the experience of pageantry. It's not just about the crown, it's about that journey. And it's really something that is for you. It will be for you, but every trial in life will lead you to what your next great triumph is, whether that be within pageantry or somewhere else in a different aspect of your life. Take every single opportunity as a growing experience, and you'll have an amazing experience going forward and become a stronger person for it.
I'm just remembering again, because I watched our interview last night, and you were talking about, well, you had a question as to when you won the sportswoman section back for Miss World, and you were detailing everything you had to do. What the first one was a beep test, which yes. Chloe is not a huge fan of. But do you want to just tell everyone the brief overview of what you had to go through? Because there was broken feet, there were like things that you weren't very fond of doing. So just in terms of the perseverance, walk us through that part for you.
So for the sports competition, my year at Miss World, we started off, like you said, with the beep test, which if you're not familiar, is you have 1 point to 1 point, you have to run back and forth between it and make sure you get to the other side before the beep, the dreaded beep, sounds, because if you don't make it, then you're out. So what they did is they did that to kind of narrow us down onto teams. We were separated into different color teams. I was on blue team, so they were only allowing 8 people from all of the blue team, which is about 40 girls, to continue on with the rest of the competition. So I had to beat out all those other girls for one of those 8 spots. And running was never really my forte. I was a goalie through all my sports, so I purposely avoided running, at least long distance anyways. I was always a good sprinter. So that one I just had to really, trudge through and get through, because I knew that the other aspects that was really where I was going to shine. I just had to be able to get through that spot first. And then the next one was long jump, which I actually had never done before. And thankfully, though, my trainer, who also is my boyfriend, so go Jamie, he prepared me for it without knowing we were going to have to do it. So I actually had a little bit of experience just from my workouts I did with him for a very similar motion we did. So I ended up getting second for the long jump next to a girl who actually did track in college. So I was really happy I did as well as I did on that one. And then the next one was a sprint, and that's where I actually broke my foot. So we were sprinting on the beach. So as you know, running on sand isn't necessarily the most safe thing you could be doing in the world, let alone full out sprinting. But we were in the final round of the sprints, and probably the last 3 steps or so, I thought I had twisted my ankle. Turns out I had broken my foot. I didn't know that for about 3 months later. So I was walking around China with a broken foot and high heels, and then hiking when I returned home, and wasn't good, but at least it wasn't like too serious. And then the last round was swimming, and I am terrified of swimming. I used to have asthma as a kid and went to a summer camp that they made me take swimming lessons every single day, and I would basically drown every single day at the summer camp. So I quickly learned to hate swimming. So even when I outgrew the asthma, I never really outgrew the discomfort I have in the water mentally. So I somehow managed to swim across just enough time to win the overall, not for swimming, but win the overall. Got just enough points I needed to skate by for the actual swimming section. So that was really just about kind of facing fears and knowing that you're kind of aiming for something bigger than what your fear is. So that really helped me push through. But yeah, the broken foot was not fun. I didn't have any medical treatment for that for about 3 months. And as you could imagine, walking on the Miss World stage with stilettos and a broken foot is not the most fun thing in the world, but I was very fortunate. My mom brought a nice little, of course, mom comes into the rescue in all scenarios. She brought a nice little compression sock that matched my skin tone so perfectly. If you go and look back at the Miss World final night photos, you really look, you might be able to see it, but it blended so nicely that I don't think anyone noticed, which was great. So go mom, you always come through with a big save. And so that was kind of my journey through the sports competition. It was a lot of fun. Girls were a little bit scared of me that day because I was in a little bit of a grumpy mood, but hey, we pulled it off and we got through it.
Does your mom come prepared for every contingency?
100%. Even at this one, she came with a whole other bag full of like first aid stuff that I didn't really even need, but she brought it with her. She always brings like all the Tide to Go sticks. She brings the sewing kit. Like my mom.
The sign.
Like, yeah.
The
the
sign.
sign. Yeah. She brought a sign that lit up. It says Maine into the theater. She's the only person who had like a lit up sign in the entire theater. But yeah, my mom always comes way over prepared. Like I said, she's like my biggest fan I could ever have in the whole wide world. She watches every single interview. She, likes and reads almost every single post and comment and everything. So she didn't sleep the night after I won. She was online, like looking at every single comment, looking at every single video. She's in love with the whole pageantry, and been a huge support for me. So definitely couldn't have done any of this, without the support from my mom and my family. So very, very thankful. I do have such a strong, like, close-knit family that has been supporting me throughout these last 10 years. Because like I said, it's been a long journey, and, some people could give up along the way. My mom never did. She always believed I could do more, and always supported me when I decided I wanted to continue on. And that's something I'm really, really thankful for.
At 10 years, you're one of the few people who can rival Danielle. Danielle always says she's been doing this for too long. You're one of the people who can probably feel her pain. When you said your mom brought a sewing kit, that's to stitch dresses up, not to stitch you up, though, right? She's not thinking that you're
yes, for dresses, yes. All different colored fabrics. And you know what? Sometimes that comes in handy. I've had situations where I have needed her little extra kit in pageants in the past. And especially my feet were really busted up this pageant. I wore shoes that probably I should have broken in long prior to the pageant, and I didn't. So definitely use some of her first aid kit this time around.
And just one more question about the actual win. How did it feel? How did it feel winning this time around compared to last time? And when you won Miss World, obviously you got the phone call, I remember. But can you just contrast the two feelings?
Well, this one, it feels right. Like, I never really thought that Miss World was the right system for me. I saw it as a growing opportunity for me, for sure. And it definitely brought in amazing people into my life that I don't know if this title would have been possible without, such as Vanessa. So I really loved my time at the International at Miss World, but it is a little different winning a virtual pageant versus actually going to a national competition with such an amazing and diverse and strong group of young women that are sharing that stage with me. And then to be able to come away with the title, that meant so much more, especially for it being in the Miss Earth system. That is where I've always wanted to end my pageant career. This was my last pageant I was going to be doing. Now I get to do one more, which is amazing and exciting. So I think that this one, it had so much more weight to me emotionally than I ever had with the Miss World system. I truly feel that I am where I'm supposed to be and when I'm supposed to be here. So it was a sense of relief, and it just felt like it was meant to be. I asked, I'm not necessarily the most religious person in the world, but before I went on stage, I just said a prayer to whatever higher power there is. If this is meant for me, let it be for me. If it isn't for me, let it push me into whatever is for me. And it truly just felt like it was meant to be. And that doesn't mean that it necessarily was an easy journey. It means I put in a lot of work into it, and it took a lot of effort and time and practice, but it was something that everything kind of all came to a head. My whole 10-year pageant journey, I feel, really led me to this moment. And I couldn't be more excited that it is with the Miss Earth system, just because of how much I truly value their core mission statement. So this one was by far, I'd say, far superior as far as how much of an emotional response I had to winning. And I'm just really, really excited to be able to represent the United States once again, but this time in a system that I feel truly mirrors who I am as a person.
So just to back up a sec, standing ovation. So that's it. So you're done now, Marisa?
Yes, after Miss Earth, that will be it for me as a competitor. After that, though, I really do want to get into the directorship side of pageantry. I have been mentoring different girls throughout the past couple of years within their pageant journey. I decided I didn't necessarily want to go into a pageant coaching or consulting role. Instead, I'd really love to get into the directorship side and really create a beautiful experience for the girls who are entering on this journey of pageantry, because I think that there is no better opportunity for self-growth and development in this world for young women than it is through pageantry. But that can only be a positive experience when you have an amazing director and staff that are supporting and making sure they're putting the girls' experiences first and foremost, which I'm very happy to say the Miss Earth USA system does. It's amazing to see a group of all women who have all had pageant titles in the past, so they know exactly what it's like to be a competitor, and they make sure that experience is very rich for the girls. So I'm really excited that I will be joining them on the directorship side once I am done with my reign, and then hopefully as my reign, if I get the chance for Miss Earth. So maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, you'll be seeing me on the directorship side, but I definitely want to keep pageants in my life long term. It is something that really created who I am as a person, and I want to share that with others as the years go on.
We'll begin to move to the close. So Danielle or Chloe, if you have any questions for Marisa, just think of them now. But it's so funny, Marisa, you say that about directors, because I've interviewed your director, Laura,
Yes.
and she was amazing. I don't interview many directors, but I'm actually making a point to do more of that now because of exactly what you said. I think if the director doesn't know what's going on, or the director's values aren't, let's say, maybe where they should be, then the girls are going to have a horrible experience. It doesn't matter what system it is. And then in an hour's time from now, I'm actually interviewing the director of Miss Universe Ireland, who was Chloe's most recent director, and they had a virtual pageant, and Chloe had an amazing time. But that was a lot to do, maybe purely to do with how amazing Brittany was. So I take your point. Absolutely, it'd be exciting to see how you go with directorship. You obviously don't like spare.
I don't like what?
He's dropped out. Spare time. Where he was going with that.
Spare time. No, I don't really enjoy spare time. I definitely thrive off of being a busybody. So we assumed what you said. You cut out.
Yeah. Thank you.
I finished your sentence for you. It's okay.
That's great. I don't need to be here. Daniel can just tell you what I'm thinking, and Chloe can as well. All right, so Daniel or Chloe, do you have any final questions for Marisa before we let her go?
Yeah, when are you coming back to London?
As soon as possible. So that is one of my #1 trip destinations once COVID clears up and travel international is safe. So because I really, really miss you, and I really miss London. So as soon as possible. And I can't wait for you to come out and compete in the United States this year, and I'll get to see you. So we'll at least see each other some point this year, but I would love to get out to London as soon as I can.
Yeah. Totally.
Chloe, any questions for the Queen before we let her go?
No questions. I just want to thank you so much for coming on to join us. You're so inspirational and an amazing queen. And I'm so excited to follow your journey, and fingers crossed for a back-to-back.
Oh, thank you so much. Lovely meeting you officially. I know we've been kind of on the cusp of knowing each other for the past few years. It's great to actually talk to you face to face and get a chance to come on and see all of you again, some of my favorite people. So very, very excited to have had this opportunity today. And thank you for inviting me on, Adrian. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, Danielle keeps biting my ear off about having you on. And then we happen to pick the one time that you can't come on because 1 p.m. is when you have to have a work meeting, which is the way it always goes. I do want to ask you guys one more thing before I let you go, but let's just answer this question here. So Charlie has asked a question here. So where do Pageant stand in terms of the pandemic? So I think he asked a question before. Yes. So where do Pageants stand, or how are they? So let's ask this. How do you guys think, and we'll go around the room to each and every one of you, but how do you guys think pageants are relevant at the moment when we have a worldwide pandemic? There was obviously a huge amount of political unrest, storming of the Capitol. There was violence. There was Black Lives Matter. Last 12 months has probably not been the best 12 months for the world as a whole. So I might throw it over to Danielle first, but in terms of how you think pageants are still relevant right now, what would you say?
Well, for me personally, it's given me a goal and something to look forward to in the future. Obviously, everyone's mental health has taken a bit of a dip here in the UK because of going through a third lockdown now. So it's really helped me get focused. And it's brought friends into my life. So me personally, it's enriched my life so much. So why would that not be relevant to the world during the pandemic that we're going through right now? If it's given us a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we all need that. So that's how I would answer that question. It's just something that's wonderful to be a part of. So
Yeah.
I think it's extremely relevant that we all look after ourselves in this at this time, and I think this is a great way to look after yourself.
Chloe, what about yourself?
Yeah, I completely agree with Danielle. Competing in a pageant in the middle of the pandemic really gave me something to look forward to. And I also met so many friends along the way. And it also makes you realize that you can do it online and that you can have interviews online, which I actually preferred because we had more interviews than usual. Usually it's just a small, short interview. We had 3. So it gives you more of a chance to get to know the judges, for them to get to know you, to actually understand who they're about to crown. It gives them more of a feel for the person. And I feel like maybe in the run up to future pageants, if they do that as well, where, the contestants have to create content, videos, online interviews. So yeah, I think it should be more than just an on the day pageant. And I feel like this year has changed that a lot. And yeah, it's probably done a few changes for the better in the pageant world. So yeah, it's gonna
Definitely.
keep growing.
You guys got to know each other very well in the lead up to Miss Universe Ireland, and that doesn't often happen in pageantry because you get there on the day, or even if it's a month long, it's still very much go, go, go all the time. So sometimes you don't really get to know the girls. Marisa, what about yourself in terms of pageantry being relevant during the crisis?
Well, I think especially with the Miss Earth USA system, Miss Earth in general, is our advocacy has always been centered on environmentalism. And I think that COVID-19, so 2020, really showed us what was truly important in this world was our health. And a lot of that stems from the environment that we are in, whether that be our air quality or our biodiversity loss or our interaction with different animals. As we know, COVID-19 was started from a interaction with an animal. And so it's very important, I think, to be able to give women a voice and give them the platform to be able to really speak about what is so important in our world. And I saw a lot of that with the Miss Earth USA system this year, from anywhere from COVID-19, advocating for people to use reusable masks instead of disposable ones, or even something as simple as spreading, like Danielle was saying, positivity and a good message. But I also saw a lot of our queens be active within our political turmoil this year, which I really applaud the Miss Earth USA system for allowing us to share our voice and not stifling that, because it really is about women empowerment, and women empowerment is relevant no matter what else is going on in this world. It gives us that chance to speak out on subjects that are important to our hearts and really make an effort to change the world. Because during COVID-19, everyone kind of stopped, and the world stopped. So it was a chance for us to really listen and really hear what it is that is important and how we want to make our world different, because we are starting to be into a new normal, and we have a lot of more ability to change and see what we want our future to look like than ever before. So I think pageants are so relevant because it gives us that voice to be able to push for the change that we are hoping to see in the future.
Well said. Danielle's giving you a standing O again.
Always.
So just before we finish for tonight, to follow Marisa, obviously on Instagram, she's got, I'll just bring this up. So Marisa Paige Butler, which you can see up here, that's her personal Instagram. Is this a clip of your interview answer, Marisa, or is this a walk?
Play it.
Oh, no volume.
Oh, you guys can't hear that?
Nope. This was such a good answer. I literally yelled afterwards. I almost woke up my other half, who was asleep, because obviously I did stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning at this point.
So you guys can't hear that, huh?
No.
That's a shame. Let me just.
Well, everyone should just go over to Marisa's Instagram, go follow, and go listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can sort that out. And then the Miss Earth USA page as well. I was going to show this one. This is the winning moment, and there's Lindsay.
Oh. And I was like,
Yeah, I was trying not to ruin my makeup, so you
Yeah.
can cry all you wanted, Danielle.
You're just so
That's
beautiful. I just love the
Thank
hair
you.
and everything. I mean, perfect.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that
Oh,
one, I really wanted to show off my beautiful earrings. I found
Yeah.
the most like unique earrings for this dress, and I was like, you know what, I need to have my hair like off my face somehow. So that's what we came up with the hair and makeup team, and I really loved it. I haven't actually worn my hair like that for a pageant before, so I really, really enjoyed that makeup and hair look. We're so fortunate at Miss Earth USA. We have such amazing hair and makeup sponsors. So definitely made everyone look absolutely beautiful and stunning. But yeah, it's like a little emotional, honestly, still seeing this. Like I still get a little bit like choked up because for me, like I said, I really feel like this was the crowning moment is a kind of a cliche to say, but it really was the crowning moment of my entire pageant career up until this point. And honestly, it's the title I'm most proud to have. And really happy that this is, the final stop along my pageant journey. And just looking forward to seeing what this next year brings and seeing if maybe we can top it. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're aiming for. But at the end of the day, I'm just still so thankful for this opportunity to be able to be in a system that I truly feel is the right system for me with the right people and in the right time.
Can I just ask final question? Well, are you squatting down because Lindsay is taking a while to put it on, or are you squatting down because I needed a photo?
It was taking a little bit of time to put the crown in. So if you saw her like kind of whisper to me, she's like, "Is it on right?" Because she had never crowned someone before. Obviously it was Lindsay's first time even competing in pageant when she ended up winning. And it was all virtual. So she has never kind of been part of the crowning experience before. So she was like, "Is it on? Do you think it's gonna fall?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think it's okay." And she's like, "Hold on, let me make sure it's in." And then I stood up. So we were having a little conversation, during that moment. So I think that's why it took a little bit of time.
Well, fingers crossed she'll be crowning you again.
Yes, that would
I
be
know.
amazing. It would be so great. I know that back-to-backs are not very common, but I definitely see it as a possibility. And I think that I'm kind of using that as a motivation for myself as I prepare this year. I know that in order to get that back-to-back title, it has to be without a question the right decision. And I know that I need to be putting in all the work so that it's an easy decision for the judges to make. And it really will be about how much work I put in over these next couple months. And I'm ready and willing to do it. And we'll just see where this journey takes us. But I'm just, like I said, so grateful to be your Miss Earth USA 2021. That in itself is just such an honor. But I definitely want to make my country proud. I want to make my family proud. And all the people who have been supporting me. So that's what our aim is that back to back. And I'm using that as my motivation as we go into this year.
Well, I don't think you're the sort of individual who needs more motivation. I don't think anyone would ever question your motivation, but a little bit extra helps. So guys, let's leave it there. Marisa, look, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
It was so good having you on.
Yes, thank you so much. It was great to speak with you all today.
And Danielle and Chloe, obviously, thank you for making time on your Thursday nights. Did we
I wouldn't
interrupt
want to
any
be anywhere
special
else.
plans? That's fair. All right, guys. Look, thanks so much for tuning in, Marisa. There are a few questions down there which we didn't get to. I'll let you go through those at your own pace and answer them later. Guys, in 45 minutes, I'll be back on here because there's no rest for the wicked, as I said, with Brittany Mason, who's the director of Miss Universe Ireland. And now the Indiana USA systems, both the Miss and the Teen. I know nothing about Indiana. Marisa, do you have any pointers as to Indiana?
Not probably as much as, not really. Not really near Maine or California. So
fair enough. I'll find out in my own time. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back at the usual time next Monday night. God, I can't think anymore.
Monday at 9, guys. Monday at 9 UK time.
Thank you, Danielle. The time zones are hard enough when it's 2, let alone juggling 3. I'm like, oh my God, what day is it? What time is it? And we will have Gabriella Jukes on, who is Miss Wales 2019, really just because Emma and Danielle were making fun of Gabriella last time we had Emma on. And Danielle, we're going to ask you for your impression of Gabriella.
Gabriella
because you're
Jukes. Hello, everybody. My name is Gabriella. I was going to say Gabriella Jenkinson. Gabriella Jukes, and I'm from Port Talbot. There we go. There's a little Sutton of what's to come on Monday.
something to look forward to. Do you want to give Marissa's impression one more try before we go?
No,
I don't think
we
you
need
gave
to
it a
cut.
decent shakedown. All right.
Maybe
I'll let
we're
you off the
offline.
hook. All right. Thanks everyone for watching, and we will speak to you again very soon. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember, Confessions is out. To get your copy from Amazon, head to shaw.b/confessionsbook, and I'll see you next time.